Welcome back with another banger. It's the React Files. Hope you're having a good night. If you haven't already, please take a second
just to smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell,
just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. So let's get straight to it.
Black hole sun is full of symbolism. Could it be symbolism surrounding the upcoming eclipse? Because the lead singer's name is Chris Cornell, who has unfortunately passed away, but he is wearing a skull shirt, which could be interpreted as the skull and bones, and Chris Cornell, CC, as in 33, which has Freemason ties. And speaking of CC, Beyonce even has a new album coming out before the eclipse called Cowboy Carter, CC 33. And in the music video, you have Christians warning people of the end being nigh. Throughout this music video, you will see these Christians appearing. And then you also have these creepy smiles and these deformed faces throughout this music video, with the faces looking eerie and demonic. And that's very telling because currently there is supposedly a syndrome where people are seeing demon faces, and it looks eerily similar to those in this music video for Black Hole Sun. So you tell me what is really going on. And also you have some people looking scared of the eclipse coming in this music video, while other people are happy to see the eclipse coming, excited to see this eclipse, this black hole sun event coming. And you also even have a bug invasion in this music video. And around the eclipse time, there is going to be 2 broods of cicadas around the eclipse. Very strange. And you also have this woman with a snake tongue. If you know, you know. And then you have people being taken away, but some people are staying put. And this is basically telling the story of the rapture, where some are taken away and some are left behind. And on the album cover alone that this song is featured on, you have the eclipse, the solar eclipse. So again, you tell me what is going on. Is all of this a coincidence, or is there something more at play here?
Yeah, in the comments we be talking about it. Every time we talk about the eclipse, we think about Soundgarden and their song Black Hole Sun, which is a great song. Never understood the meaning, right? I was in middle school when the video came out, so I don't remember it much. But now looking at the imagery, it's like, holy cow. Now the song, now I gotta listen to the song. It's starting to make sense.
So I feel the need to address this. There's a lot of people calling P. Diddy a fall guy. I believe they're saying that because Camden Owens said it, but that's not the case. P. Diddy, or P. Diddler as Jim Carrey calls him, is literally a gatekeeper. You can see him mingling with the most powerful people on the earth. Right here you see that he was pumping money into Elon's takeover of Twitter. You can see that when discussion came out about P. Diddy and the royal family, that Elon Musk was quick to denounce it. Last week, before all this happened, Obama was literally meeting with royal families. P. Diddy has been part of this very powerful organization, and an asset of this organization. Blackmail, you saw through his house, all the cameras. He's an asset of them and have been for decades. We even have P. Diddy with Rachel Chandler. Why? Remember her wedding in the White Rabbit? And now we have CERN launching the White Rabbit just in time for the eclipse. Their apparent logo. I knew I saw that somewhere. And I literally pointed this out to y'all in January, the second it was posted, that Stephen King was wearing a white rabbit mask and said, "Look out, Jason, Freddy, Michael Myers, it's the Rabbit Man," insinuating the Rabbit Man was worse than all these other characters. And then one of the Super Bowl commercials literally had people being abducted by rabbits. Is this starting to make sense? No, he's not a fall guy.
Now that's some news I didn't know. I didn't know Diddy was that cool with Elon to invest that kind of money. Didn't Neo have to follow the white rabbit in the Matrix? What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
Does anyone find it strange how CERN is starting up around the same time as the X eclipse? They actually already started the process on 3/22, and look at all of the weird and strange stuff that happened on that day. But April 8th is the first collision of protons, the same day as the X eclipse. So you tell me what is going on, because this seems very, very strange. And as I said earlier, this seems very concerning. What are they trying to do? What are they trying to accomplish with this? People really need to wake up, because it's very odd that they are starting this around the same time as the solar eclipse. 2024 is very strange. What do you all think about all of this?
And the last factor I want to mention is resilience, the capability to bounce back, because there will be certainly what we call the black swans, the unpleasant surprises which will come in our way. The most important factor to master the future is leadership.
Did you hear? On back-to-back days, General Flynn and Ron Paul on Tucker Carlson's show are talking about a black swan event.
Reaching this point where some sudden thing is going to happen.
Now, for those that don't know, a black swan event is an unpredictable event that is beyond what is normally expected from a situation and that has potentially severe consequences. So you're just going about your day and like 9/11 happens, stock market crashes, something crazy like that. Now, I have been talking a lot over the last 4 years about an old guard falling and a new guard rising. And history proves that when there is any type of like changing of the guard where new people are coming into places of authority, it gets very chaotic because the ones that are in the position of power don't want to lose their power. All right, I'm going to play these videos back to back, but then I'm going to add some notes on the end.
Reaching this point where some sudden thing is going to happen. I believe in that theory of the black swan.
Yes.
It's going to pop up, and it's not going to be controllable. But people, you ask, what can they do? I think the most important thing is understand what's going on.
Things, we call them black swan events, right? Black swan events are things that nobody imagined could occur, and yet they did, right? And they and then they have these incredibly, mostly devastating effects.
So things get very chaotic, they get very stormy because there's a guard transfer that is occurring, and when those kind of things happen, black swan events become predictable. Which is interesting because they're supposed to be unpredictable, but people that could see in the spirit and people that can read history and know how it constantly repeats itself knows that when there's a change of guard that's happening, when people that are losing their place of power, things get very chaotic and they try to do whatever they can to stay in power, and that could just create those kind of events like a black swan event. We can talk about other things like a wealth transfer, like what happened when the Israelites left Egypt, or the fall of Saul, rise of David, where Saul was taken down as the first king and David was put in as the second king. We could talk about Daniel in the lion's den, or Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego going into the fire. All of these kind of things surround black swan event territory. Let's see what happens. What do you think? God bless. Have a...
So there you go. Shout out to Dustin Rosen, explaining the meaning of a black swan event. Then you have Ron Paul and General Flynn on a Tucker show.
Did you hear the other names that are now coming out after P. Diddy? You know what's crazy is a lot of people in the public have been calling out these celebs in high realms. People are like, Cat Williams just said it last week. Cat Williams said it last week. We've been saying this for years, bro. Miss Crockett has been on this for like 20 years. She's like known it was going to happen before some of these dudes were even born. Still out there like, no, it was just Epstein by himself. There was no one else involved. Well, now we're hearing things about Prince Harry, and Donald Trump has said a lot of things about how he feels about him.
I wish a lot of luck to Harry, because he's going to need it.
Bro, this has got to be the most wildest one. 50 Cent is out here calling out Jay-Z like, where you at, bro? I haven't seen him in a while. You know, last I saw him was by Diddy's jet. I don't know where he's at. You know what's wild? Is that as they're raiding P. Diddy's properties, it's important to know it's not just about P. Diddy. It's about all the evidence that he has on other people in those properties. We gonna find out. For 4 years now, I've been saying that the Lord is declaring a season of exposure. And when exposure is declared by the Lord, it gives people an opportunity to repent and turn from their wicked ways. Either turn themselves in, or they continue to keep running and trying to hide. But what comes next is justice. If you don't give over to the Lord's grace and repent and make things right, justice eventually shows up on your doorstep. And I believe that that is going to be coming at a very high rate of speed to many people very soon.
Talking about swift justice. Boy, man, I ain't know Trump had words to say about the prince. Right? Whoa. And these other names that's been coming out, man. Like, this is like a big movie, man. It's really like a big movie. Like, what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
It's 2020, y'all. Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaire.
Diddy is officially on the run. As some of you have seen, Diddy's homes have been raided by Homeland Security in connection to an ongoing trafficking investigation.
We believe this is tied to sex trafficking allegations.
Federal agents even detained his sons, who have also been suspected to have been involved in Diddy's sinister activities.
And he saw me and decided to pick me up and said to come inside and play with the kids. Yeah.
But coincidentally, Diddy wasn't home. This whole raid stemmed from multiple accusations of trafficking, sexual assault, and solicitation and distribution of illegal narcotics and firearms, causing federal officials to get involved. Diddy's whereabouts were unknown until a Twitter user managed to track his private jet. He was tracked leaving California to Cape Verde, an island that has a no extradition treaty with the U.S., meaning the U.S. has no power to extradite any individual who is currently wanted for crimes. It seems that Diddy knew ahead of time that the police would be kicking down his door and planning to arrest him, so he fled to an island where he knew he could not be touched. Is this the end for Diddy?
It looked like it has to be. Like, there's no question. So, did he do it? What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up?
What is done in the dark will be brought to the light every time. And TD Jakes has been exposed once again for his connections with Diddy. He has been named in the lawsuit for Diddy, as well as Prince Harry, which is very interesting because remember all of the stuff regarding Kate Middleton? One has to wonder what is really going on. All of this stuff is very, very strange. But what is done in the dark will always be brought to the light no matter what. People think that they can get away with all of this evil. It will eventually come back to haunt you every single time.
Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up?
Maybe people taking it out of context, but what he says sounds very sus. But to be named in a lawsuit, you know, I mean, a few months ago, you know, there was a lot of suppression right? But now that the name is in a lawsuit, it's like, come on, bro. Really? It was like that? Like, a possible public image fixer. With that in sponsorships to these parties from companies, celebrities, and Prince Harry. Yo, what's going on? It seems like this is a deep web. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
Bishop T.D. Jakes, baby, you been mentioned in a lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs. And I know that you over there shaking in your boots right about now. Oh, they definitely coming for you, TD. They coming for you. And I know y'all gonna get mad at me talking about don't put my mouth on a man of God, but let me tell you something. You should not be this close to somebody that has all these darn allegations, because birds of a feather, they definitely flock together. And we all adults on here. We all know that when you hang with one person that's associated with something, your name, if your name is involved in that, why is your name even in it? Your name shouldn't be nowhere near this damn document. But yet, it is. Mr. Jones, that's Rodney, a.k.a. Lil Rod Jones. He's the one that filed the actual lawsuit against Diddy. So this is just one section of the lawsuit. And I'm going to start from the beginning. Mr. Jones has secured irrefutable evidence of the acquisition, use, and distribution of all of these drugs listed up here, the displaying and distribution of unregistered illegal, Mr. Combs providing laced beverages to minors and sex workers at his homes in California, New York, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Florida. Mr. Combs' chief of staff, Christina Coram, they call her KK, instructed her staff to retrieve drugs so she can provide it to Mr. Combs for his consumption. Christian Combs, which is his son, was, doing this and essaying a woman. Mr. Combs detailing how he planned to leverage his relationship with Bishop T.D. Jakes to soften the impact on his public image of Cassie Ventura's lawsuit. Let me read it one more time. Mr. Combs detailing how he planned to leverage his relationship with Bishop T.D. Jakes to soften the impact on his public image of Cassie Ventura's lawsuit. So he's basically saying that he was using T.D. Jakes to make himself look good in the midst of this Cassie Ventura's lawsuit, which it didn't help. All it did was make T.D. Jakes look bad. So that was like an epic fail. Let's read a little bit more. Young Miami's cousin, our assistant, essaying Mr. Jones. Actor Cuba Gooding Jr. actually harassing to Mr. Jones. A rapper, which they redacted his name, on Mr. Combs' yacht, consorting with underage girls, ex-workers, and an R&B singer, Chris Brown, in Combs' Los Angeles home, consorting with underage girls and workers. It may seem small to some of y'all, but it's not. Believe it or not. Watch, when the shit hits the fan and it all comes out, I honestly believe that T.D. Jakes is gonna go down too. Because y'all gotta think about it. There are tapes that have been turned in. There's all kind of people, witnesses and stuff. People finna start talking. As well as Diddy. People finna start talking. And I believe they gonna throw T.D. Jakes out. They gonna roll him over with the bus. Watch. Because the Bible says, how can two walk together except they be in agreement? And at the end of the day, I know y'all keep saying, oh, he's a man of God, he's a man of God. But he is held at a higher accountability than we are. And if I know, and I ain't no Holy Ghost filled, fire baptized Christian, but if I know that I should separate myself from certain people, then I know that he knows that. Because you can't tell me that these little parties they were having with these underage girls, that he didn't know about it. Did y'all know they found underground tunnels in Diddy's house? Like under the ground? Now, the thing about it is, I want to know, where does it lead to? But we're going to see as the weeks go on, we're going to see, and things are going to start to unfold. I just really believe that, man, the music industry, I don't know, it seems like it's collapsing, just like the bridge. Do y'all think they're going to go after T.D. Jakes? Or do you think he's just gonna be a witness? What do y'all think? Do y'all think at the end of the day he gonna take Diddy's side? Or do you think he gonna take his own side and just tell the truth? What y'all think gonna happen? I wanna know. And y'all already know. I'll holler at you later. I'm about to go to bed.
Shout outs to B Miles 1026. Laying it down. Yo. I didn't know they was in the documents like that. These tunnels. You know? Whenever I hear the word tunnels, my radar just starts to, you know? Like, what? Crazy, right? What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
Hey everyone, so those of you who have been following my post, I posted about the P. Diddy raid on his homes by the feds and Homeland Security for an ongoing investigation regarding trafficking. I just want to let you know that everything I'm going to be talking about is triggering other related and all that. So if this is not something that you want to listen to, please skip ahead. So I was doing some research on the ongoing investigation because I wanted to know exactly what's going on. Oftentimes these things are posted on headlines, and you know, us as like lay people, we don't really know what's going on. We don't know, like, people don't just, we go by what's information's given to us. Well, being the lawyer I am, I decided to look up the case, and I found the case that was filed in February 26th of 2024 in the Southern District of New York. That was filed by Rodney Jones against a whole bunch of defendants, including Sean Combs, who I'm going to refer to as, you know, also known as P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever. So the first thing I was wondering, I'm like, who is Rodney Jones? Well, Rodney Jones produced about 9 of the songs in Diddy's 2023 album. He was producing these songs, he as in Mr. Jones, he was living with Diddy in all his homes, and he traveled with him to Florida. He went to the US Virgin Islands on the yachts. Apparently in August of 2022, Mr. Jones receives a call from Combs, and he's like, hey, I'd like you to produce some songs for my rhythm and blues album, the Love album, Off the Grid. So Mr. Jones agreed. Why not? You know, like, let me build my career even further. So from September to November 2022, Mr. Jones produced these 9 songs for him. He lived with him again in his LA homes, New York, would travel with him everywhere. During that time, in this civil action, it is alleged that Mr. Jones witnessed and experienced and endured things beyond his role as a producer, so unrelated. And apparently in this complaint, Mr. Jones has corroborated through witnesses, statements, video, and audio recordings and images, which some of them are in the actual case. So if you want, you can look up the case. You have to just type case 1 colon 24 CV 01457. I will put it up here, and if you're interested in taking a look at it, you can see everything that's attached there, and there's probably more stuff. So apparently there was hundreds of hours of footage and audio recordings of Combs, his staff, guests, a whole bunch of people engaging in illegal activities. And apparently the complaint also says that there's irrefutable evidence of the use and acquisition and distribution of also displaying and distribution of unregistered illegal firearms. And also there were allegations that Combs laced alcoholic beverages and gave them at his home in New York, LA, Florida, and on the yachts. So I go deep into this. Apparently Combs had his staff directed to retrieve for his use and for the use of other people. Apparently, Mr. Jones was, that's what he alleges, by Combs and by other people who were in the home. There's a cousin. One of the actors that Mr. Jones alleged was the actor Cuba Gooding Jr., who I also did some further research, has a history of this behavior. A rapper, the name was redacted, but there was a little footnote at the bottom that said that this rapper is a rapper from Philadelphia who is dating Nicki Minaj, so you could guess. Then there was another person that was mentioned, an R&B singer, and then there's also a footnote because it doesn't tell you exactly who, but it says he's a Grammy Award winning R&B singer who had trouble with law enforcement after insulting a Bajan billionaire. So the allegations for the rapper and the R&B singer were that in different locations that they were consorting with underage girls. There was a studio recording incident where apparently there was a heated conversation that took place in a bathroom, and Mr. Jones was like 2 feet from the bathroom. He heard shots fired, and when everything cleared out, Combs and another guy exited the bathroom, and they saw this guy G was lying on the floor in a fetal position. Mr. Jones tried to assist him. They called the ambulance come, and apparently Combs was like, nobody say anything. If anything, you say that he was outside of the studio and he was shot by a drive-by assailant. So that was one of the allegations. There's also like so many allegations and incidents where Mr. Jones was sexually harassed and assaulted by Combs, basically trying to force him to engage in, it says, and apparently Jones said that he is a heterosexual Christian male, so all this stuff made him feel uncomfortable. He said that many people excused Combs' behavior and said, you know, Sean will be Sean. That's one of the quotes in the complaint, that he walked around naked despite the uncomfortability. And there's just goes on and on, that Combs even took a producer named Stevie Aaron Jordan, also known as Stevie J in the complaint, that apparently Mr. Jones idolized, and he used this idolization to sort of Mr. Jones into engaging in so apparently also Combs had told Mr. Jones that this is normal in the music industry, that everyone does it. He was promising he would win a Grammy. He was promising him money and success. And apparently this went back and forth whenever Mr. Jones, you know, was not into, which apparently is the duration of all these things being alleged, but he was being intimidated or harassed by Combs, that if he says anything that, you know, he will be harmed. I go further into it because there's definitely so much going on, but there are 15 causes of action ranging from there's a RICO racketeering, you know, for all the trafficking that's being alleged. And what's interesting is on one of the pages, it says that Mr. Combs was known for throwing the best parties. With sponsorship of Mr. Combs, sex trafficking partners garnered legitimacy and access to celebrities such as famous athletes, politician figures, artists, musicians, international dignitaries like British Royal Prince Harry. This is crazy. I mean, honestly, so much is going to unravel. But I just wanted to get on here and read some of these allegations in this complaint and sort of give people like a background as to what is going on and the seriousness of these allegations and what's taking place allegedly with these groups of elite people. So if you're interested, check it out. And this is for information purposes only.
Shout outs to M.A. Hoover Law. That's MAHOVER law. Breaking it down. The names like Cuban Gooding Jr., Prince Harry, a well-known Philly rapper, Stevie J. Bro. Wow. That's crazy. Certain songs won't ever sound the same. Certain movies can't be watched. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year. In the 90s, do you understand what that's like? It was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. There were very curious things taking place. Uh-huh. And I didn't necessarily understand it.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
Yo, shout outs to Usher. I know that's right. Bet not send your kids.
50 Cent said his Diddy documentary is in the works and its name is going to be Diddy Do It. Oh my gosh. And I think it's going to have him a #1 hit. It's probably going to go higher than Power and BMF. And I'm saying that because Diddy's story is just that crazy.
I'm not a lawyer, but let's talk about Diddy. Okay, so everybody knows Diddy's house was raided on Monday, and as of now, there aren't any documents accessible by the public regarding that raid or the ongoing investigation. Everything is speculation, but there is something that I can recap. Okay, so back in February, the 5th civil lawsuit against Diddy was filed by this man whose name is Rodney Jones. Y'all remember this one? Rodney was a producer for the Love album, and his lawsuit included some stories about a redacted R&B singer and a rapper. And that lawsuit also included some images that Rodney claimed to be Stevie J. Well, on Monday, the same day as the raid, that lawsuit was amended, like a V2. So let me outline for you the differences between the original lawsuit and the amended lawsuit. You ready? First up, Cuba Gooding Jr. has been added to the second lawsuit as a defendant. There were claims and pictures made about Cuba essaying and harassing Rodney in the first lawsuit, but that was the extent of it. Now, in this amended complaint, Cuba is officially listed as a defendant, and now cause of action number 12, 13, and 14 are all against Cuba specifically. The next difference is that 2 of the defendants have been removed on this amended lawsuit. A woman named Ethiopia, I'm not going to try to pronounce her last name, we'll just go with Ethiopia. She was at one point the CEO of Motown Records. Well, according to docs, in exchange for being removed as a defendant on this lawsuit, Ethiopia has agreed to submit a declaration and, if called upon, will testify thereto. Now, the declaration that she submitted is basically a timeline of her career. When she worked at UMG, when she worked at Motown, who she reported to, etc. So this deal is basically that, if called upon, she will testify thereto, meaning what's in her declaration. The other defendant that's been removed from the lawsuit is Chalice Studios, which is a studio in LA. And if you need a refresher, Chalice Studios is where Rodney claims that a weapon was discharged by either Diddy or his son in the bathroom, and a man named G was on the receiving end of that discharging of that weapon. You follow that? And regarding that incident, there are a few things that have been added to the amended lawsuit. This image of Diddy allegedly at Chalice Studios a couple hours before the firearm got discharged has been added to the suit, as well as this screenshot, which is Rodney alleging that Diddy and his son were hiding out at another studio when the police came to investigate what happened to G. Rodney notes that Diddy and Jay Combs were the first to depart after officers left, and the footnote says that this fact will be made crystal clear in discovery. The amended lawsuit also says that there has been no sighting of G. And it says that after the initial lawsuit was filed, someone reached out to a person that knows Rodney, attempting to get information about Rodney. That Rodney's daughter was also contacted, allegedly by someone connected to Diddy. See, I'm gonna leave that right there. Moving on. Okay, in the first lawsuit, there were some images included of what Rodney alleged was Stevie J engaging in some activities with a man. After the lawsuit came out, Stevie J said that image is not him. And then another man who has an interesting line of work came out and said that that image is of him doing his line of work. So in this amended lawsuit, those pictures are no longer included, but Rodney has a footnote that says that he stands by his position that Diddy provided him with the video and identified the individual in the video as Stevie J. The initial lawsuit included that Diddy's chief of staff, a woman named Christina or KK, required that employees walk around with a black Prada pouch filled with substances. And in this amended lawsuit, Rodney has now included a picture of Diddy's butler wearing what he says is one of those pouches. The amendment also includes this picture, which Rodney says is of Brendan Paul. Now, if you've been paying attention to the news, on Monday, when Diddy was at the airport while his house was being raided, the feds pulled up and there was only one person who was arrested. And that person was 25-year-old Brendan Paul. Brendan was charged with 2 counts of possession of some stuff and 1 count of possession of some other stuff. So the first and the amended lawsuit both say that Brendan Paul is Diddy's mule. Rodney alleges that Brendan acquires and distributes substances and weapons. Are y'all keeping up? Okay, just a few more things before I go. In this amended complaint, Rodney says Diddy had a few women on a monthly stipend, and he includes who those women are. And Rodney specifically notes that it's unclear if the women who got the stipend were provided the appropriate United States federal tax documents for those payments. See, not Rodney trying to see if they was paying taxes. Sir. Last thing, this amended complaint includes a table of Rodney claiming times in which substances were trafficked from one place to another. And at the bottom of the table are some footnotes that I'm just going to leave up so you can read yourself. All right, there are more differences between the initial lawsuit and the amended lawsuit, but these are the big ones. I'll be talking through the rest of them on my podcast, I'm Not a Lawyer, but The Debrief. The episode will be up on Friday, but if you're in my Patreon, you got to watch it live today, and you already had these documents. So either join my Patreon or go subscribe to my YouTube channel, because we're going to talk about it.
Maybe Beyonce and Jay-Z would just go on spring break, guys. Like, I don't know. Were they fleeing? I mean, I'm sure Beyonce and Jay-Z and their kids, excuse me, God, so rude, get on private planes all the time, right? I know I never get on a private plane, but if I was fleeing, I'd get on a private plane. But do we think they have anything to do with this? Do you think Jay is worried? Like, I don't know. Like, but this day and age, how, even if they go somewhere where they can't be brought back from, like, all that, like, I don't get it. What does everyone think about Bey and Jay? Maybe she was flying somewhere to work on her country moves for her country album, which, by the way, I love Texas Hold'em, just saying. But do we think, like, they were fleeing? I don't think so. I don't know. I will give you an update about Bey and Jay and Blue Ivy. And I don't know the other kids' names, I'm sorry. I don't, just like Kim Kardashian's kids, I don't know their names.
Yeah. Probably spring break, Easter Sunday coming up, family getaway. I think it just hits heavier after seeing Jay on the face of a milk carton in a 50 Cent post on Instagram. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
The nigga Puff was like, first he was amping him to get style. Then he was like, so when we gonna get the chance to, to kick it, like we could just hang out, nigga. We gotta kick it.
This is
Puff.
Okay.
He telling me we gotta kick it and shit. And he was like, why don't we like go shopping or some shit? I mean, like, I pay for it. And I was like, what the fuck this nigga just said? I got the fuck away from him because I was like, this nigga like fucking. This nigga just tell me he'd take me shopping. And this is shit that goes on. But there's a little fruit pop. It's a fruit pile. It's a fruit pile. Trust me. You see these little weird ass pictures and shit like that out there. You should sit out there for no reason. You don't see accident pictures of me like kissing niggas. Like that doesn't happen by accident. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Look. Later you gonna find out a little shit that I'll be saying. Do you understand what I'm saying? Man, listen. I'm trying to tell you the truth. But the truth, sometimes it hurts. Right. It hurts people and they don't want to hear that shit. But I'm trying to tell you, nigga asked me, could he take me shopping? And it fucked me up because I'm looking like, what the fuck? This nigga just like, I want to take you shopping. I got a bankroll out this motherfucker. I want to take you shopping. Why? Because when you walk around looking so motherfucking good, I'm going to feel like, God damn it, that motherfucker with me. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. But when a nigga tell me he want to take me shopping, what the fuck is the matter with this nigga?
Wait, hold on. But where was this at?
This was at the wedding.
Right after the wedding. I'm beefing with Steve Stout, and Puff is telling you he's going to take you shopping.
After the show's over. Swear to God,
everybody gonna want to be at Chris Lady's wedding right now. Everybody gonna be like, yo, I was there.
And I'm bugging because look, while they was sitting there at the wedding, like I'm like this, look, because you know they both they hit.
Right.
Both Stout and Puff.
Okay, yes, they hit.
They fucked the Veronica, the girl that Chris was married.
Whoa, this is awkward. We did not know that.
So I'm sitting there like, what the fuck kind of shit we got going on?
Oh man,
goddamn! Like you must have my own doing.
I guess our angel alert shit.
And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed tonight's rabbit hole. If you haven't already, please take a second just to smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. Cause what we gonna do, y'all? That's right. Run these numbers up. Thanks again. Until next time.